All right. Good morning, my friends. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Welcome back. F1. Better be watching practice, man. Daniel Ricciardo, he's back. So if I'm looking over here while we stream, just know I'm watching F1 over here. Good morning, guys. Welcome back. Happy Friday. Yeah. That's right, Kevin. That's right. You caught the 15-740 rejection. Nice, Rachel. As always, good morning to Grandpa Ralph. he called me yesterday. Said I didn't give him enough. I didn't give him enough props. I should have said best grandpa ever. He said it wasn't enough. So, what a guy. Watching from bed. I'm surprised he's awake. So good morning to you. Good morning to everyone. Can you bet on F1? Yeah, you can bet on F1. Vinny Boombots. You can bet on F1. Absolutely. Go ahead and bet on it. DraftKings. Sometimes I would do DraftKings on F1. I can't wait for DraftKings to come back. DraftKings for football is just, it's a great time. I've had friends, I don't know if you guys have had friends. I've had friends win a lot of money on DraftKings. I had one friend win in a golf tournament, won $200,000 in a golf tournament. Another friend won I think $50K on a shootout, showdown, NFL showdown for a single Monday night game. It's possible. It's possible. Just starting to be super impressed. Tune in pre-market live stream, chart some zones. Seems to be observed now. Wow, nice job, nice cream. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. All right. Yeah, I guess I should come into the day, right? Told you, Meta would go down. Told you. I said it first. I could do that every morning, right? But I choose not to. But yeah, Meta, awesome Meta downside yesterday. Just sick. Just a perfect trade, perfect setup. Some really nice downside yesterday. We finally got some price action. Really nice price action, nice slippery downside. But the ES, right? The thing to spot here is the ES really didn't break down much, right? The ES really did not break down much. The NASDAQ was the brunt of the downside, right? Technology really was where we got hit. The S&P 500 held up pretty damn well because of the other sectors in the ES, right? Because of XLP, right? That safety trade was definitely very apparent yesterday. Walmart, Procter & Gamble, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Costco, Target, all those safety names really held up pretty well. So that ES really did not break down a whole hell of a lot. So something to pay attention to, right? Why you buy puts but not me? Something to definitely pay attention to. Dow is, sort of strong, so we'll see. We'll see how that steps in today. We'll see if we get some action today. After some big downside action, it's very possible that we see a pretty shitty day, right? It is Friday. Typically, it's a little bit tougher on a Friday, especially if you're trading 0 DTE. So if you had a nice day yesterday, if you caught some of that downside yesterday, don't screw up your weekend, right? Don't get crazy today. Take it easy. See if there's any nice setups out there. If not, call it a day. Friday could be a little bit tricky after a big downside move. A lot of big tech stocks moved into major demand levels. So is there more downside there? We'll see. There is definitely a lot of levels that we moved into, demand levels that we moved into that you might not want to continue to chase shorts, right? Yesterday was probably one of the bigger opportunities. Yesterday was probably where a lot of the money was made on the short side. So keep that in mind, right? We'll break down some of the NASDAQ, S&P levels as always. Let's do it. 8:05. Welcome back, guys. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. If you guys could, help continue to support the streams. Keep them going. Keep the momentum, the violence, the speed, the momentum. Keep it alive. Pump the stock, right? That is all I can ask for is just the like button. Subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot more than you think. Helps that algorithm, right? We got to pump that algorithm up. Economic earnings calendar. You had American Express this morning. I think it was lower. Not really much that I'm worried about there. Earnings, economic. Is there anything on the economic? Let me check real quick, see if there's anything even worth talking about. Nothing. None scheduled. Nothing on the economic schedule. Earnings calendar. Is there anything but American Express? Not really. So pretty light on that side, right? Pretty light on the earnings economic side today. Really nothing I'm focusing on there. Let's just get right into it. Tesla levels, Netflix 430, Microsoft 350 rejection, retest, Google retest rejection, Meta 300, Apple. Apple was very strong yesterday, barely broke down. And then Coinbase 100 is another thing I'm watching. So futures, some setups. Let's make this a quicker one, right? It's Friday. Let's get prepared. Let's see if there's anything that's real clean, real easy. If not, I'm on the side of taking the win yesterday and starting this weekend, man. That's what I'm interested in, to be quite honest. So here we go. Let's start with the NASDAQ. So here's the NASDAQ, right? What level did we talk about yesterday? We said don't long into pre-market highs, right? That's exactly what we said on the stream. We said do not long into pre-market highs. Well, yesterday morning, you got your pop, right into pre-market highs, and that is where the party began, right? The party began right at the pre-market high rejection, right there, previous lows, pre-market highs, and you popped into it, and you got annihilated, right? This is what we talk about all the time. This is what we talk about every single day on this live stream. Do not be the guy that longs into pre-market highs. Do not be the guy or girl that chases the morning pop into supply levels and then sees the rejection, right? This is the move that you do not want to get suckered into that pre-market high. So that's exactly what happened yesterday. It couldn't have been cleaner. It couldn't have been more textbook. This was exactly what we talked about. So congratulations to you guys that stuck to that script, understood the levels, played the levels, didn't deviate from levels because you were wanting to FOMO into upside yesterday morning. So took shorts up here on Nvidia, on Meta, beautiful downside, and just finally some slip and slide action. This was money. Where did we move into, right? Where were the levels that we moved into? So we'll go to the 30-minute chart here because we got to zoom out and look at some previous levels here. The first one that you should be watching today, if we get any more upside, is this right here, this 730, 740 zone. That is the previous lows from Tuesday, right? I don't think most people know how much work you put into your channel. Hey, man, yeah, it's a lot of work. I'm here every day. Every day, all day. It's not like it's a full-time job, so I appreciate that. 15,730, 15,740, right? You guys can see right there. That is that Tuesday low. We're not going to long into that Tuesday low, right? That Tuesday low could just be a simple little rejection play, right? So watch the Tuesday low. The Tuesday low here at 730 is a major supply to watch out for. That is a break and retest possibly of this low. That could be your rejection point today. This is also this previous high here from Monday. This is also a previous high from Friday pre-market. This is also a high from Thursday of last week, right? So there is a lot of potential rejection points around this 730, 740 zone on the NASDAQ futures. That is your first watch. I believe that also lines up with 380 on the QQQ, right? And we will look at that next. Before we get to that level, we do have these lows around this 680. 680 lows, right? 680 lows, 680 lows on the NASDAQ futures as well. A little bit of a channel here, right? We had this channel, and now we're retesting this channel. So we are retesting the lows of this channel around that 15,680 level. 15,680 is also the exact level that when we broke yesterday, it caused the secondary downside, just sort of bloodbath end of day, right? So where did we break down yesterday that caused that secondary flush? It was right at this 15,680, right? Right here. This was yesterday. 15,680, 15,680. We broke it. It caused the flush. Now we're trading back into it here, right? So today, very possible that this is just a little bit of a little uptrend back into this 680 level possibly, right? Or maybe if it breaks 680, it's an uptrend into the 730, right, for more downside. I would not be long here today if you are below 680 and below 730. If you can get back above 15,730, then there is possibly a long side trade. Will I be interested? Maybe, maybe not. We'll have to see. But if we get back over this Tuesday low, something like this, right, and start to see this right here, hold as support again, that could be your long entry, right? That could be a long off 730. Am I mentally, am I looking for longs today after yesterday's downside? As of right now, not really. I'm really not too interested in it. I'm a little bit more interested to see where these supply rejections step in. That's really where my eyes are. I'm looking more to see, do these lows reject, and does this previous low reject here, right? I'm more interested in this rejection or this rejection than I am looking for a gain back above 730 for upside. Maybe that's the wrong mindset today, but at least that's where I'm thinking, right? I think the probability is a little bit higher on the side of us rejecting this 680 or rejecting this 730. But that doesn't mean it's not possible that we regain that 730 for potential upside off this Tuesday low. So that's my watch, right? If I go back to the daily chart, you guys, if you follow me on Twitter, you guys know I posted this a few weeks ago. I said that I think we should be back at that 15,450 on the NASDAQ futures. I think we still have room downside to that level. That's the 20 SMA, right? The 20 SMA is where we held here. The 20 SMA is where we held here, right? And that is also a previous high retest. Double top high at 15,450, right? So I still believe that you could see a little bit further downside here into that 20 SMA on the NASDAQ, right? I still believe you should come back into this 15,450 level, which is also the 20 SMA, right? That's where I think you will look. That's where I would be more comfortable on long entries down here, right? This is more of the long that I'm looking for than just longing this after a downside day and thinking that I can just trade upside because we went down yesterday, right? Not really where I want to be, setting up longer term or structured trade ideas. My structured long idea is down here. It's down at this 450. It's down at this 20 SMA. It's down at this retest here, right? That's really what I'm looking at. So let's see what happens today. Those are the NASDAQ levels. Let's go to QQQ. I think the QQQ level that all eyes should be on is 380 today. And that's possibly where we have to come back into today. 380 on the QQQ. You guys know how important that level has been. Yesterday, after breaking 380, it was the slip and slide action, right? This was the previous Tuesday's lows. This was this previous hold here. This was a previous rejection here and a previous rejection right there, right? So you're holding right now this low back from Friday of last week. You guys can see right here, the QQQ did regain that level. So I think you probably could see, right? This is probably the retest you're looking for today, the 380, right? That is going to be the big level. What happens at 380 today will likely set up the, sort of show you the clearer picture. So if we get a pop in the 380, look to see what happens there, right? That's where you really have to zone in. You have to lock in. You have to monitor price action. You have to see what the candles, what the price action is telling you at 380 today. I think that's really the key, right? Because we know that's a major level. We've seen the reactions. We know this was a low here. We know this was what caused upside here. We know there was a double top rejection back last week. So if we get back to that 380 level, that is where you start to look for the rejection, or that is where you start to see if we're able to regain it, right? Either way, doesn't matter which side you're looking. It's just a matter of what level do we watch to see the reactions. It's 380 in my opinion. So 380 today, that could be where you have to push back into. That is a big watch, big watch in my opinion today. All right. Let's go to the ES futures. ES futures, I'm looking to see if this 45.80 rejects today. That's my main watch right now. 45.80. That is this previous low here, right? You guys can see right here, this previous low, 45.80. This is from Wednesday after hours. This is where we rejected yesterday. That caused the aggressive downside, right? You guys can see right here, 45.80 rejected all day yesterday. Rejection here, and we got that end of day slide off 45.80. You have this slow upside back into that 45.80 here, right? That is where I'm looking to see if the ES rejects today, right? That's my main watch, 45.80. If you get back above 45.80, the ES could gain strength again, right? If you start to hold this 45.80 today, you are right back in this channel. And really nothing has happened, right? Nothing aggressive has happened. If you are able to regain 45.80, you are right back in this channel, and it's like yesterday never happened on the S&P 500 futures. So that's the big watch, 45.80 on the ES. Look to see what happens at that level today. That's your major watch there. It's the same as the SPY, right? The SPY, you guys can see it's around this 453.70. It's this low right here. It's this low right here, right? And it's this low from yesterday that caused the downside reaction. If I go to the 5-minute chart, you can see that we moved higher, right? We tried to get back above this 453.70. Did I even say that level? I'm like spaced out right there. 453.70. 453.70, 453.70 on the SPY, right? 453.70 on the SPY. That's where I would be watching today. A little bit of a pop above it right now. We'll see how that sort of plays out. That's sort of the watch, 453.70 on the SPY, this little low. If you are able to regain that on the SPY, it is like nothing ever happened on the ES, or ES and SPY. All right, if you're able to just turn this into support today, all right, it's like yesterday never happened for the ES and for the SPY. So watch this 453.70, right? That's big. Watch that 45.80 on the ES futures. Watch that 380 on the QQQ. And the NASDAQ, another red flag. Who crashed this time? And 15.680, 15.730 on the NASDAQ futures. All right. Let's jump into Daniel. Daniel Jones, Mike Jones, Dow Jones, whatever you want to call it. Strong, man. Strong, right? You're up above this. You got above that 15,240. Strong move for the Dow yesterday. Looks like your next level is really up at this 35.5. Is that all-time highs? No, not quite. Yeah, 35,500. Right here on the daily chart. So that is right there. 35,500 on the Dow today. Big level, right? Turn that red. Zoom out. You can see right there. That high, this is back from December 1st of 2022, right? You can see we're sitting right at it. 35,500. That's your level today. So watch out for that 35,500 on the Dow. All right. Russell. Ooh, this must. What is it? See, look, this has got to be a really nice retest. Let's zoom out. It must be. Yeah, it's a great retest. Holy hell. So there you go, right? Look at those levels on the Russell. I have not looked at this chart all day. I haven't even looked at this chart since yesterday. Actually, I didn't look at it at all yesterday, unless we the pre-market live stream. So where did we have our demand? 19,730. Why did we have demand there? Well, you have a previous high right there, right? And you have a previous high right here. Look at what the Russell did. Where did it hold yesterday? At that exact previous high. Perfect, right? That's just levels for you, right? So Russell held at that 1970 previous high, turning it into support. Very nice. I'd say this is just a channel trade now. This is just a channel trade between 2006 and 1973. Now you're just in a channel. All right. Tesla. So that 300 was tough, right? And let me give you the longer term look here, because I think this longer term look has merit, right? And I think you should be watching it. Just take a look at this larger term chart here, guys, and just sort of give it a good look, right? This could be a short term little. I don't want to say top, but this could be a short term like slowdown here on Tesla. This has been a really nice run, right? It's been a really solid run. It's been about 100% run on Tesla, and you just moved into. It's not a joke of a level up here. This is the weekly chart. Weekly chart on Tesla. You have some major rejections from back in 2021, right? And some major rejections into this is 2022, right? August and September of 2022, right? And look at the candle off of it here yesterday. So, yeah, right? This is I would be I'd be very surprised to see Tesla just get back right above that weekly supply. That's a big level here. So just be aware of that, right? Moving forward on Tesla, just, I would say, just keep that in mind as you trade on a daily basis. You are rejecting a pretty major, like multi-year supply level here on Tesla at this 300, right? Keep that in mind. All right. So we'll get down into the shorter term stuff here now. But that was a big rejection that needs to be paid attention to. If I sort of zoom in here, right? Actually, you know what? I think we got to go further out. I think we need like 90 days. Yeah, we need like 90 days here. So here's really your demand on Tesla. It's around this 265, right? It's around this 265. That's really where that demand steps in, right here. 265, you have these previous highs. You have these previous highs. You have this previous high here, right? You have these previous highs here. And you have this previous high here, right? So you have a lot of previous highs around this 264, 265 level, right? So that's big, right? You got to be a little bit cautious shorting on the short term into that level, right? Because that could definitely hold. Right? This high, these highs, this quadruple high, this consolidation high could absolutely hold. If you break below that, right, that is where I would get aggressive again on Tesla. If you start to see this, right, and the next few trading days starts to get stuck back below this level, right? If the next few trading days start to get stuck under 265, then you are looking at a potential, a Tesla that will now remain under that 265 level, back under this supply high, right? That's really what you're looking for. If you're looking for Tesla shorts, I think you need to wait for Tesla to really show you that it's unable to hold 265, right? Because as of right now, it is still holding, right? It is weak, though. It is still showing weakness, but that is very key. Let me zoom out a little bit here and show you what's happening this morning. So this morning, and another thing I want to point out is look at that 20 SMA, right? We are back below that 20 SMA. We're back below that 20 SMA, which is important, right? It's very important. If we get stuck under that 20, that could also signal some weakness here on Tesla. I'm thinking it's like it's really like 270. I have like 270 to 268 here. I guess you can put it at the 270 just to make it a little cleaner. I think 270, right? 270s. You have the 270 hold here. You have the 270 hold yesterday. And you have that 20 SMA. So for me, right, if you stay under 270, I'm still sort of thinking downside. But you have to be cautious of shorting before the 265, 264.50. So I think Tesla could remain in this little 5-point range today. I think that's very possible. If you are able to regain 270, then I think you could continue higher, right? If you can regain 270. If you actually get under 265, 264 here, that's where I think the short could come alive again. So today, I think I'm leaving Tesla alone because I think it is more valuable to get maybe another day of insight here on Tesla. It's at a very important level, and maybe it's better to just watch it, understand what it does today, gain some insight, gain some analysis, right? Sometimes you just need to let these stocks run and see what they're going to do, right? Without emotions on the line, without money on the line, just sort of monitor the price action, right? Set up a trade for next week. If Tesla gets back above 270, then my setup would possibly be for upside next week. If we get under this 264, 265 today, then I could start to formulate some downside ideas under that level, right? So very key, little channel here. It's going to be an interesting day on Tesla after that big downside. SSR, is that what, like the short sell restriction? It has a SSR on it? I'd be very shocked if it does. Usually that's like penny stock stuff. I don't know, Chef. I've never... that's new to me. So Tesla, yeah. 265, 270, that's my watch today. Let's see what the market does. We'll see what it does. I think it's a day of... I think Tesla today, better more than anything, is just a day of watching and learning. That's sort of what I'm looking at Tesla today as. Because there could be some, right? There could be some major downside opportunity here. There could be, right? If this market does want to continue lower, there is definitely some major downside opportunity. And I love Tesla, right? I'm a big Tesla bull. I have the Tesla car. I love everything about Tesla. But I can't, it's very clear, right? It's very clear, right? Very clear. All right, let's continue. Yeah, I didn't know they had a short sale restriction on Tesla yesterday. That's crazy. Interesting. Netflix. So, right, here's another one that is very interesting. And here's why, right? Look at what Netflix just did, guys. I think it's very valuable after yesterday, guys, to zoom out, right? Get the whole picture. There's big moves to the downside yesterday, but you got to get the whole picture. You got to make sure you're not getting tunnel vision here, because I'm starting to think that there's some volatility on the horizon, right? And if there's some volatility on the horizon here, there's going to be some opportunities that you're going to want to catch, right? It's going to be a good time to start looking at trading again here. This is very interesting on Netflix, right? Look at what we just did on Netflix. From the lows over the last year and a half, we pushed higher right into this previous low on the weekly chart, right? That is no joke. That is a low from June 2020 to, July 2020 to June of 2021. That's an entire year of a hold at that level, around 480, right? And you just popped into it and look at the weekly candle off that level, all right? Is there downside opportunity here? I absolutely would agree that there could be, right? Maybe back into this 380 high on the weekly, right? And that would still not be a bearish move on Netflix, right? That would simply just be the normal the normal ebbs and flows of the market, right? Look at this weekly chart. You have the ebbs and the flows. You have the ups and the downs, right? Normal stock chart movement, right? This is normal stock trading movement. You just got on an extended run into supply, right? Is this the nice pullback that we need for more upside potentially? Can you take advantage of this kind of pullback? That's still not a bearish, Netflix is going to zero type move, but a bearish opportunity to trade back to the downside off of major weekly supply here. All right. I think it's very possible, and I'm definitely going to be watching that. What happens? What do we need to get to start to set up that trade? What has to happen here for Netflix to start to set up that downside trade back towards that 380? We have to break 430, right? We can't short Netflix until a 430 break. 430 could very much hold here. It is very possible. We have seen the demand. We have seen the demand. We have seen the demand. And we have seen the demand just yesterday, right? So everything I'm talking about, right? All those downside setup, those ideas, you can make those longer term ideas, but you need something in the short term to set it up, right? To trigger that entry, to trigger that setup to start to work, right? You don't want to be in it before it starts to trigger. I think the trigger would be a 430 break, right? A 20 SMA rejection, a break of 430, a retest rejection of 430, and then I think that would trigger that selling. So that's what I'm watching, right? I'm not interested in longing Netflix back into weekly supply up here. I just think that's about the move that you need to stay away, right? If you didn't catch the upside, I think, if you continue to try to trade upside here, if you didn't catch this upside, right, you're going to continue to chase it into weekly supply. I'm not. I'm watching for the 430 break. That's my big watch. What happens at 430? Let's see what happens. That's going to be key today. Today, tomorrow, next week, whatever it is, right? That's what I'm going to be watching. Microsoft, 350, right? Look at this 350 potential retest rejection today. You have 350, right there. 350 rejections, very clear. 350 rejections yesterday, and you are moving back into 350 right there, right? So 350 again right there. Today, I'll be watching to see what Microsoft does at 350, right? 350, see what happens. Do we reject? Do we hold above? If you hold back above 350, short play's not there, right? If you reject 350, I am very interested in this little potential bear flag movement back into this supply rejection at 350. So big watch there on Netflix, 350 level. It would make a lot of sense to get this 350 rejection and then move it back into this demand, right? This would make a lot of sense here. 350 supply rejection, little bear flag, breakdown back into the 343 demand, right? And that's about the extent of the trade. That's about the extent of the downside I would be looking for. So watching 350 supply today, I'm definitely interested there for a move back into 343. Sort of fill that move higher from that news this was back on Tuesday, right? Back on Tuesday, we had that crazy upside on Microsoft. It all started off 343. Do we give that back, right? Do we give that back? Very possible, right? Typically, the market will give back these, straight up moves. Doesn't mean Microsoft's going to zero, right? It just is a normal, right? It's a normal market movement to give back those straight up moves. So watching that 350 today on Microsoft. Google has been a really weak stock and is coming back into a major supply here. It's also coming back into the 20 and 50 SMA, right? You guys can see right here, Google has broken below this supply. It's broken below this supply. It's broken below this supply. You had a big flush of that level yesterday. You're grinding back into it. You have the 20 and 50 SMA stacked up right there. I already talked about the ESNQ. If you're late, you're late, man. I mean, it's like walking into your college classroom and asking the teacher to go back over everything they just talked about. Nope, you're late. Hey, that's life, man. If you want to go back, you can watch the replay. 121, right? 121.20. I'm sorry, 121.80, 122. You guys can see right there. Nice supplied triple top. You're moving back into it, right? Back right into that 20 and 50 SMA. Could this be just a little push, a nice little rejection, right? And then a nice play back to the downside? Could that be what we're looking at here? Very possible, right? Very possible. Something I'll absolutely be watching. All right, so watching how Google reacts at 121.80, 122 today. That is my big watch there. It's overall been very weak, so I'll look for that continuation of weakness. Yeah. And I'm still sort of eyeing this lows, right? I'm still interested. This will be given back. I don't know when, right? I could be sitting here until I'm 60 years old, right? Maybe we'll be 60, right? We'll be 60 when this happens, in 40 years from now. But this will absolutely be given back at some point on Google, right here. There's no way it doesn't, right? This straight upside will be given back at some point here on Google. This is not normal price action. You guys know, we've seen it. If you come to the live streams, we have hundreds of examples of straight up upside being given back. Give that straight upside move back to the downside, right? It happens all the time. It will happen again. We'll have to see when, right? We have to stay patient. That is still on my watch. That's still on my watch. So keeping an eye on that. Probably won't happen today, but something I will be watching. Meta. Hey, man. I'm in love. Right? This was just the perfect trade. It was the perfect trade. It was all mapped out. It was, you guys can see it right here. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I recommend doing so. Once in a while, I'll drop some gems. I don't really drop too many because I like to keep it to the chat, right? I like to share this stuff with either you guys here or I'll share it in the Discord. But here was our trade idea on Meta from Wednesday. Still believe Meta needs a pullback from this 316 supply. The zone is the gap fill level. We now have a double top here, and Meta has underperformed the NASDAQ all week. If we see NQ breakdown, this should be the first to move lower. Bear flag break should spark the selling, right? And this was the chart, right? That was the chart right there, and that is exactly what happened. It is exactly what happened. Right into 300, the exact spot, the exact hold level, the exact bear flag break. It just couldn't have been better. It could not have been better. This was awesome, right? I didn't make that much money off of it, but it's just, I talk about this with the group all the time. You have to find happiness in being correct in your analysis. No matter how much money you make, the happiness should come from the correctness in your analysis. The confidence should come from seeing something right, seeing it correctly, trading it correctly. Don't worry about how much money you make, right? The money will come, right? The money will come. But if you can have these setups, if they can work out like this, this is where that confidence should come from. You should feel good about it, right? And you should continue to build off that. Right? I made 300%. I made about $350. It's not much money, but hey, it's a beautiful trade, and that's really what you should focus on. So Meta downside, bear flag, double top, a beautiful setup. I would not short Meta anymore here. Meta pretty much went to where we were looking for it to go, right? We were looking for it to pull back to the retest level at 300. It did that, right? And now, continuing to try to be greedy here probably isn't the right move. The only short potential I could see here on Meta is a retest rejection of 305, right? That is the only short idea you could possibly look at today here on Meta, is a retest rejection of this 305 level. If Meta does not stay under that 305, then I really don't think I would look to short Meta today, right? Meta needs to stay under that 305, right? And it needs to reject these previous lows. If that does not happen, then I would not look to reshort Meta, right? Because this was really the move that you needed, right? This was the money move. Now you're just sort of chasing this. So 305, watch that. If that rejects today, you might be able to trade that back into 300, right? If that rejects at 305, all right? Apple. I just wanted to point out the Apple strength yesterday. It was pretty wild, guys. I mean, Apple did not go anywhere. Apple is actually very strong still, right? And could hold the market higher, right? So Apple, look at this demand hold on Apple yesterday. Wild, right? Wild. So would I be the first one to short Apple? No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. It's way too strong, right? You can clearly see this. This is now a quadruple bottom at 192.50. Even after yesterday's selling, it held that thing like a champ. Just a rock, just a rock wall right there. Won't give up. What's the steel in Wakanda? That just popped into my head. What's the material? The vibranium. It's a vibranium wall at 192.50. So 192.50 vibranium wall there. Be careful shorting into that 192.50. The supply highs are up here at 194.50, right? So Apple, not really much of a trade idea here for you guys, but more of just a, hey, watch out because this thing's holding up, right? This thing is holding up. So if that holds up, that could help the market. So watch that 192.50, 194.50, all right? Vibranium. Coin 100, right? Coin 100. You guys can see right here. This is going to be a major level on coin. Could there be some downside under 100? Absolutely, right? Absolutely, right? Under 100, if you break down under that 100 level, that could really be where the coin selling starts. Why do I think that? You guys should already know why I think that, right? This is straight upside. And this will not hold coin higher if we start to break 100. That's a big if. If we start to break 100, right? Don't take this as I am shorting coin here because there is this move right here. No, right? That's not correct. I'm only shorting coin if it breaks and holds below 100, right? If you short it here, you are shorting into potential demand, and then you're going to be upset that we didn't fill this gap here. Well, it's because you're in too early, right? You need to break 100 first. That's a must break to get this downside move. So coin could absolutely bounce off 100 again. It could do this for the next 2 weeks, right? Absolutely. It could do this for the next month, right? It may not break down into this level for months on end. And if you continue to try to trade it before you get that 100 break, you're just going to be beat up on the options contract. So if you're looking for that to fill, right, you need to lose that 100 first. We'll look at Upstart. I know some of you guys wanted to look at this one. It's holding this 54 level. I'm not really a big trader of these small caps, but I will share with you this level for you guys. I know you wanted to look at it, margin. This high. It's pretty easy, guys, right? Just look at the weekly chart. Look at the previous levels. This high right here, 54.70. 54.69. You guys can see this previous high, 54.69. Then you go into the 5-minute. Where is it holding? 54.69, right? So as long as Upstart's over 54.69, then this thing is holding higher, right? Maybe a little flag there, 54.69, possible upside. Not really a trader of Upstart. I don't have much insight into it because I don't believe in technical analysis on small cap stocks as much as I do on large cap tech names. Large cap tech names, much more respect. The respect technicals much more, right? You can have one random day of small cap downside and every technical level gets invalidated on small caps, right? One day the Russell goes down 8%, 5%, whatever it is, some crazy downside day on the Russell, and every single technical analysis you look at on these small caps just get absolutely crushed. So I don't really believe in technicals as much on small caps, right? They do work in good markets, but you got to have a little bit of caution on small caps, guys. They can make some of their own moves, all right? For the most part, large cap and large cap tech respects everything you see on the technicals on the market. All right, so let's get into Nvidia, right? We didn't go over Nvidia today. I want to go over Nvidia. I think it's a must-watch every single day. I'm not shorting Nvidia today, right? The short on Nvidia is over, right? The short on Nvidia was at 470 where we took it yesterday into the 450. You're not going to short Nvidia into 450 now. It's just not going to happen, right? Nvidia is too strong of a stock lately. I would never look for a short back into this 450. You got to break under 450. If Nvidia is over 450, I would stay away from the short side. Could you play long side today? Maybe if it runs with the market, right? If the market pops here, you could. I would rather be a long closer to 450 than at 460, right? You're getting a little bit extended here in the pre-market to start formulating long ideas. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be long at 460 here. I would maybe look to see if you can get a double bottom low and then maybe long down here. I'm not a big fan of longing this after a 10-point move off the lows here because, you're basically just right in the middle of the channel at this point, right? You're basically right in the middle of this channel. I'm not a big fan of that. So 450, right? That would be where I'd look to long. Maybe if it gets back down there, I would not short Nvidia near this 450 level, though. That is a major demand down there. AMD, a weak stock. I mean, just a weak stock. Then don't join, William. If you can't afford it, you probably shouldn't be trading, man. I mean, that's just the harsh truth. You're gonna hear the harsh truth from me at every point. That's who I am. There's a lot of things out there, guys. If you can't afford certain things out there, then you shouldn't be trading. Trading is not for. Don't get me started. If you are worried about bills, if you're worried about if you're worried about surviving, and you're worried about it's guys, trading isn't for everyone, right? Trading is not a I have $400 and I'm going to make $1 million next week. Come on, give me a break, right? Give me a break. You gotta yeah. You gotta realize that, this is not a $400. I have $400 left to my name and I'm going to start trading. Okay. That's just the blunt truth, guys. You can go anywhere else on the internet. They're going to tell you, start with $200. I'll make you a millionaire overnight. It's all bullshit. All right. I'm going to tell you the truth. The truth is you need to be able to have some money. You need to be able to have a account balance. You need to be able to support yourself outside of trading to successfully do this. This is not easy. You're not going to start with $200. You can go anywhere else on the internet and you can believe what they tell you. You can believe that they're going to tell you they'll start with $200, they'll make you $1,000, then they'll make you $10K, then they'll make you $1 million. Bullshit. Okay? Bullshit. So that's not. I'm the truth guy. That's me. You come here, I'll give you the truth. Right? That's not the truth. Okay? Yeah. Anyways, let's continue. AMD, 111, right? 111. And you're here for free. William. So enjoy being here for free. So 111 on AMD, right? 111 to 112. You guys can see that right there. Really ugly 4-hour bear flag breakdown, right? Really ugly 4-hour bear flag breakdown. And, yeah. Rejection. See if this 111, 112 area rejects on AMD here, right? 111, 112. That would be something I would be watching today on AMD. Very, very weak, right? Very, very weak here on this bear flag. Look to see if this continues. 107 is the big level here on AMD. 107. Watch that 107, right? All right. Let's get into the futures real quick to see where we're at. Just get a quick update here. I think 380, guys. I think 380 is your level today. That's the big watch. 380, right? XLF, yeah, I'll go over it real quick. 380, all right? Keep an eye on that 380. Previous lows, that would be the major level to watch for me. What happens at 380 today? That's my major watch across the board. SPY, nice upside. ES breaking through. So the ES, once again, much stronger than the Qs, right? ES, much stronger than the Qs. QQQ 380, ES. At this point, you're just watching previous day highs here, right? Previous day highs. That's what you're watching at this point. Unless we fall back below that 45.80. Okay? All right, guys. Well, we always have a little bit of drama in the chat, but hey, the drama comes because I say the truth, right? That's where the drama comes from. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything in trading. You sugarcoat trading, you're going to lose your ass. All right? Trading is not just I'm going to come in and I'm going to make money. I'm going to always tell you the truth, right? I'm going to make sure that I protect you. I'm going to make sure that I give you the clearest information, right, to make sure that you understand the risks. You have to understand the risks of trading. I'm not gonna sucker you into joining a Discord because I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna make you money. You can join the Discord. I could provide everything that I can, right? But nothing anyone out there in the world can do to make you a successful trader. We can help you. We can provide insight. We can provide value. We can provide technical levels. We could help you along the journey. We could guide you in the right decisions, the right path, right? We could help you with that. Not just me. I'm talking about everyone. Other content creators that you see online. Me, Carmine, Rake, Jay Dunn, all the guys that you watch, right? These guys, they can help you. They can provide assistance. They can provide value. Will they make you a successful trader? No. The successful trader comes from you. It becomes from you really taking time, really focusing, really taking time to learn the trading aspects, the technical levels, the emotional side of yourself, controlling your emotions, right? These are all necessary. We can help you. We can guide you. But there's nothing I can do to just make you a successful trader, okay? That's the truth. That's it. That's it. That's all I got for you today. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'll go XLF real quick. XLF 36, man. XLF 36. That's your supply, all right? XLF 36. All right. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll always be honest with you. I haven't changed since the second I started these live streams. I never will. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Yeah. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. And yeah. 1,000 likes. Come on. Pump it. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.